Hello, my name is Caitlin and I'm in the middle of a nobuyyear. Welcome back. If you're new here, I've been doing a bunch of creating custom eyeshadow palettes, going through some eyeshadow palettes that I have that have maybe been discontinued and trying to dupe them. I've recently done the Flower Punk palette by Kaleidos. I did the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Lights or Ethereal Eyes palette. I've also just done the Odin's Eye with Angelica Hella palette, and now I'm going to do the Club Nebula palette with Kaleidos that Angelica did. If you're into that kind of thing, duping eyeshadow palettes or creating custom eyeshadow palettes, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I've been doing a ton of them recently. And this was requested by Alexandra, so thank you for requesting this. I'm going to see what I can do about duping this, or maybe duping the vibes of it. I am kind of somewhat confident that I can get most of the colors. We'll see about some of these lighter glittery ones. They're kind of like topper shades where they don't really have a lot of base pigment. It's more about the shine and effect that it gives on the eyes. So I'll see what I can do about finding some of those. I'm going to start with the shadows that I have in my single collection, which include a lot of Clionadh, Lethal Cosmetics, and all of my Adept palettes that I have. I've depotted and put into my single palette. Apart from the Seahorse palette, I still have in here, which actually kind of just first glance at this, I think I might be able to find these sparkly shades in here. And then a lot of the mattes, I think I have some lethal shades that can do it, but if not, I might need to pull from some of my Natasha Denona palettes to get some of them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull all of the shadows, and then I'll come back and we can do side-by-side swatches and see what I came up with. So here is my duped Club Nebula. I popped it in this palette just so that it's easier to swatch. I'm going to go ahead and swatch. I'll probably do pulled duped shades on the left and then Club Nebula on the right. Right, here it is swatched out. Again, on the left I have all of the shades that I pulled, and then on the right is the Club Nebula palette. Just looking at it, some of the mattes in the Club Nebula are a little bit darker than what I have in my collection, but I think when you get them on the eye, they perform pretty much the same. I hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. I hope it provides you with some inspiration. Just because a palette is discontinued doesn't mean you don't have some of the shades in your collection that are quite similar, or at least that would perform similar on the eye. I know a lot of times it may seem like you don't have a certain color just because it doesn't look exactly the same in the pan. Like some of these Clionadh shades, they have very little base pigment, and the shift is, like the color shift is from the glitter in it. But I think a lot of them, like swatched out, even though these look like they have more color to them, they're pretty sheer and essentially kind of just a top coat. So just because it doesn't look the same in the pan doesn't mean it's not going to look the same on the eye. Let me know in the comments how you think I did. I think looking at the swatches, it looks quite similar. Were you able to pick up this Kaleidos palette? I really like the Kaleidos eyeshadow formula. I have this one and the Escape Pod palette, and then I have almost all of the futuristic like 5-pan, those slim palettes. I really like the setup of those. If you liked this and if it was helpful to you at all, then hit the like button. It would help me out. Again, if you're new here, I'm in the middle of a no buy year. I've been doing a lot of creating custom eyeshadow palettes. I've been duping some discontinued eyeshadow palettes like this one. I will leave a playlist in the description of the custom eyeshadow palettes that I have created and of all of the ones that I've duped. So I will again leave that in the description for you if you want to check some of those out. That's all I've got. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!